Numbers humming, wires glow. Wizards got the rhythm flow. From chaos born, we automate, turning fate.
Welcome back, everybody, to Season 2 of the QuickBooks Wizard podcast. It's December, which means bank feeds are misbehaving. Reconciling feels like trying to wrap a basketball, and everyone's receipts suddenly multiply like gremlins after midnight. And yes, I am still drinking White Monsters, although I don't have one at the moment. And no, I still don't understand why December magically convinces people that reconciling can wait another month. It cannot. It never could. But here we are, again. Today's episode is all about reconciliations, specifically why they break, how they break, why December makes them break twice as hard, and how to fix them without panic, clicking yourself into a coma. But before we dig in, I'm not alone. I never am in here. That sound right there? That's how I know the tangle is awake.
Oh, I've been awake since 4 a.m. December is my busy season. People click everything, they sort nothing, they forget about uncleared transactions. I feast this month.
Great. Christmas cheer from the entity who once duplicated 48 subscription charges because the blinking button looked clickable.
In my defense, it was blinking.
Brian, you sound tense. 'Tis the season. Let the workshop bring calm.
I appreciate that, Wizard, but calm isn't usually the word I associate with December reconciliations. If anything, this is the month when people open QuickBooks, look at the beginning balance, see a number that makes absolutely no sense, and immediately assume, well, QuickBooks is broken, time to call Brian.
To be fair, Brian does fix things.
Yeah, usually my thing. You're welcome.
And that sound? That's definitely not the AC kicking on.
He's early today.
Who?
Reconcile.
There he is, the Recon Monster, our old friend from Season 1. For anyone new, the Recon Monster represents everything that goes wrong when reconciliations fall apart. Duplicates, missing entries, wrong dates, forced adjustments, basically anything that causes the difference at the bottom of the screen to scream in red text.
Reconcile. Wrong month.
Exactly. Someone reconciled to the wrong month again. Classic December move.
The holidays make humans reckless.
All right, here's where we're heading today. Section 1, where you and I are right now, is all about grounding ourselves in what December does to your books. It's a funny thing. People always think December is quieter, more reflective, more peaceful. But the truth is, December's where reconciliations go to collect their revenge. If you think I'm exaggerating, let me paint you a picture. A few years ago, I had a client who swore up and down that everything in their file was perfect. They said the magic phrase every bookkeeper loves hearing. I reconcile every month. Everything matches. Beautiful words, Shakespearean. Then they added, except December, and also January, and maybe February. But everything else matches. I opened the file. The beginning balance was wrong by 5 digits. 5. And the reason? They had entered a forced adjustment in December to just make it work because, and I quote, I wanted the year to end clean. But forced adjustments don't make the year end clean. They simply bury a landmine under a reporting period.
Those are my favorites.
I know, you snack on human panic.
Brian, you did fix the file, though.
Yeah, after 2 hours of forensic accounting and explaining to them why the adjustment they made just to make it 0 created a ripple effect that broke half the reports. But here's the takeaway. Most reconciliation problems are not because people are sloppy or lazy. Most are because the system is trying to communicate, and December amplifies those signals. So before we move on to Section 2, here are the truths you need to hold. 1. Your starting balance matters more than your ending balance. Missing transactions are more common in December than any other month. 3. Duplicates explode during online shopping season. 4. Forced reconciliations are the root of 80% of year-end problems. 5. If your file feels haunted, it's probably December's fault.
Receipts.
Yes, receipts everywhere. Crumpled, blurry, half-eaten by dogs. The usual. All right, welcome to section 2. This is where we pull back the curtain and talk about what actually causes reconciliations to fall apart. Not the surface level stuff like the numbers don't match, but the deeper reasons. The patterns that show up again and again in every messy file I've ever cleaned up. And before we go any farther, I want to say something that might give someone out there a tiny bit of relief. If your reconciliations are broken, you're not alone and you're not behind, you're human. And December, oh December, is the month when humans make the most accidental bookkeeping mistakes.
Humans have many strengths. Precision during holiday shopping season is not one of them.
It's my favorite time of year. People buy things on 5 different devices and forget to categorize them. I grow stronger every time someone says, "I'll clean this up later."
Of course you do. But here's the thing. Problems and reconciliations aren't random. They're predictable. They happen for a reason, and those reasons fall into 4 distinct categories. Today we're going to walk through each one with actual clarity, the kind you can take back to your QuickBooks file the minute this episode ends. The 4 patterns of broken reconciliations. First, wrong starting balance, the ghost of reconciliation past. Let's start with the most common cause of chaos. The starting balance is wrong. That very first number at the top of your reconciliation window, the one QuickBooks pulls from the last time the account was reconciled. It's the backbone of the entire process. If it's wrong, nothing else will work. Nothing. It's like trying to build a Lego model starting from step 7. You can do it, but you'll eventually end up with a wheel on the roof and a door on the floor.
And yet they insist the instructions are wrong.
I know. So what causes a wrong starting balance? A deleted transaction from a previously reconciled month. A date that was changed after the reconciliation. An amount that was edited. An uncleared transaction that someone fixed without knowing what they were fixing. Or a forced adjustment that buried a problem instead of solving it. And December adds its own special spice. People are tired. They're stressed. They want the year to end clean. So they open December's reconciliation, see the starting balance is off, and instead of investigating, they say, well, that's weird, but I bet the difference will fix itself later. It never does.
But it's adorable when they think it will.
Number 2, missing or uncleared transactions. The December mirage. The second pattern, transactions that hit the bank but never hit QuickBooks, or transactions in QuickBooks that never hit the bank. This is December's greatest trick. Picture this. You're out shopping. You tap your card. You toss the little printer receipt into your pocket with the confidence of a person who will absolutely scan and categorize it later. You won't. Or maybe you enter a bill or a payment in QuickBooks, but it never actually clears the bank because the client paid it differently, paid it twice, or never paid it at all.
Human memory is fragile. Bank feeds are unforgiving.
Missing transactions create gaps. Unclear transactions create illusions. Together, they create a reconciliation that looks like it's actively mocking you. December amplifies this because gift purchases, holiday meals, last-minute supply runs, bonuses, random charity donations, weird subscription renewals, let me see, annual software fees, travel expenses, all hit in the same 4-week window. It's basically a perfect storm.
Storm!
Yes, we know you like storms. 3, duplicates. The Tangle's Christmas Feast. Duplicates happen all year, but December is when they multiply like elves after curfew. Here's why. People manually enter transactions because the bank feed hasn't updated yet. Then the bank feed updates and pulls the same transaction in. And people assume the duplicates are different charges because they don't recognize the vendor name after spending all day shopping. Boom. You now have 2 identical meals at Chili's and 3 charters from Amazon that are definitely not 3 separate purchases.
To be fair, sometimes they are 3 separate purchases.
Okay, sometimes yes, but most of the time, duplicates are just rushed entry plus delayed bank feed sync. And when duplicates get into your reconciliation, the whole screen becomes a minefield. You click something, the difference jumps by $49.99. You unclick it, the difference jumps again. You try clicking 3 things together. Chaos.
Duplicates are the glitter of bookkeeping. Once they appear, they spread.
Exactly. 4. Forced reconciliations. The December lie. This last one, this is the big one. It's the one most people don't want to admit they've done. The forced reconciliation. Someone clicks finish even though the difference isn't 0, or they add a giant reconciliation discrepancy adjusting for entry to force the accounts to match the statement. And in that moment, that single moment, they feel like they've won. They hear angels singing. They believe they have beaten QuickBooks at its own game. But no, all they've done is bury a landmine under their reports.
Truth cannot be forced without consequence.
Exactly. Forced reconciliations are the December lie. The illusion of progress with the cost of delayed until January, February, or someday when a CPA opens the file and screams internally.
I love those screams.
The emotional reality of broken reconciliations. Let me say something very honest here. People don't break reconciliations because they're careless. They don't break them because they're bad at bookkeeping. They break them because they're overwhelmed, and December makes everyone overwhelmed. Your energy is low, your decision-making is slow, and QuickBooks doesn't care what month it is. It just reflects what's true. And that truth, it's not always pretty.
But truth is the beginning of clarity.
And clarity is what we're after. All right, now that we know why reconciliations fall apart, the next step is learning how to fix them without spiraling into stress or starting over from scratch. Section 3 is your blueprint, a clean, simple, repeatable method you can use today, right now, to repair a broken reconciliation while keeping your sanity, your December spirit, and your blood pressure intact.
And impossibly disappointing me.
That's the goal. Wizard, anything before we wrap Section 2?
Only this. Reconciliation is not punishment. It is the act of restoring harmony. December merely reveals where harmony has been disrupted.
All right, take a breath. We're heading into Section 3, the repair phase. All right, this is Section 3, and this is where things get real. Because knowing why reconciliations break is useful, but learning how to fix them without rage clicking yourself into therapy, that's the good stuff. And I'm going to walk you through the same way I walk clients through it. Slowly, clearly, practically, with a 3-pass approach that works for messy files, neglected files, holiday destroyed files, or files that have been touched by the Tangle himself.
And some of them really have.
I know. So here it is, the 3-pass method. It's simple, it's repeatable, and it works even when your December brain is running at 30%. Every trapped, frustrating reconciliation begins the same way. You open the reconcile window. You see a big red difference number. Your heart rate rises. Your stomach drops. Your soul momentarily leaves your body. This is normal. But instead of diving into checkboxes and trying to fix things, the first thing you must do is check the numbers at the top. Starting balance, ending balance, statement date. If any of those are wrong, and trust me, they often are, nothing else will reconcile. You could spend an hour clicking things and making it worse. So your first step is to simplify this. Does the beginning balance match the ending balance from the last statement you reconciled? If not, that is not a reconciliation problem. It is a structural problem.
It means time has shifted. Something from the past has changed.
Exactly. Something was deleted. Something was edited. Something was redated. Something was added without clearing. And you can't move forward until you acknowledge the past. Now the December twist. December is the month when people fix things quietly because they want the year to end smoothly. So you'll see more starting balance issues in December than any other month.
Past, not match present.
Exactly, Recon. If the past doesn't match the present, the reconciliation stops right there. Compare beginning balance to the previous statement. Click the reconciliation discrepancy report. Look for look for changes to cleared transactions. Identify deleted items. If the beginning balance is wrong, fix that before you touch a single box in the current month. Once the starting balance is correct, now you begin reconciling. But you start with the big rocks, deposits on the statement, rent payments, payroll, loan payments, transfers, large vendor bills, anything that's obvious, major, and easy to match. Think of it like decorating a Christmas tree. First you put on the big ornaments, then you do the tinsel and fancy stuff. Nobody starts with glitter and ornament hooks.
I start with glitter.
You're chaos personified. The rest of us need structure. Here's why big rocks matter. They create anchors. Once the major transactions are matched, the difference usually shrinks dramatically and becomes easier to analyze. If you start with small transactions and nickel and dime your way out, you'll lose your mind by the 6-minute mark.
Large truths illuminate small mysteries.
I like that. Put that on a mug. Now here's what big rocks often reveal. Missing deposits, transfers entered incorrectly, loan payments with wrong splits, payroll transactions booked wrong, duplicates, Tangle's handiwork, vendor payments that cleared on a different date. And here's the December twist. December is when major deposits often get wonky. Clients receive year-end payments. People deposit Christmas checks late. Transfers get delayed. And payroll might hit early because of the holidays. So if you see big rocks that don't match, don't panic. Investigate. Match all large transactions first. Confirm deposits against statements. Fix mismatched dates. Delete duplicates. Recreate missing transactions. Once the big rocks are in place, the reconciliation becomes dramatically clearer. Past 3 is the part most people try to start with, and that's why they fail. Once your big rocks are matched and your starting balance is correct, now you deal with small charges, gas receipts, subscription fees, bank charges, random transactions from vendors you don't recognize. This is the fine detail work, the tinsel phase. It makes the reconciliation complete, but it should never be step 1.
This is where I do most of my damage.
Yep, little $6.99 charges from Apple, duplicate $14.95 descriptions, 2 identical gas charges because someone pre-authorized then refilled. December's full of these. But past 3 is also where you must ask one key question. Does this transaction belong here at all? If something has been uncleared for 3 months, it probably never happened. If something exists in QuickBooks but not in the bank, it's either misdated, duplicated, or manually entered when it shouldn't have been.
Illusions vanish when confronted with patience.
I know. And past 3 isn't about speed, it's about honesty. Delete uncleared duplicates. Redate transactions that cleared on different days. Add missing fees or charges. Make sure nothing is lingering from months ago. Avoid force balancing at all costs. And here's the part nobody talks about. Fixing reconciliations is emotional. It triggers shame, frustration, insecurity, especially when it's December and everyone feels behind on everything. So let me say this clearly. You didn't break your reconciliation because you're bad at this. You broke it because December broke you a little, and that's normal.
Normal, but also fun for me.
We know. All right, you now have the 3-pass method, a clean, simple, reliable way to repair any reconciliation, even a December disaster file. Next up in section 4, the wrap-up. the wizard's lesson, the Christmas closure of the episode, and your December homework. Wizard?
Harmony begins with understanding, and you have given them clarity.
Let's finish strong. Section 4 is coming up next. Alright, we've reached section 4. If you stuck with me this far, you survived the December chaos, recon monster grumbling in the background, the tangle feeding off bad decisions, the wizard reminding us that truth is a discipline, and me walking you through a 3-pass method that absolutely works, even when your file feels like it's possessed by leftover Black Friday receipts. And now we wrap. This is where we bring the episode home. Because yes, this is a technical topic, but it's also emotional and practical and personal. Every broken reconciliation has a story behind it. Every messy file has a human who tried their best, and that matters. Most people don't realize that reconciliation isn't really about numbers. It's about agreement. It's about restoring the relationship between what actually happened and what we recorded. Reconciliations are the moment where reality shows up and says, hey, can we talk? That's why they feel stressful. It's why December makes them worse. It's why people hit finish even when the difference isn't 0. It's why they text me in a panic at 9 p.m.
Reconciliation is dialogue, not punishment.
Exactly. You're not bad at bookkeeping if you struggle here. You're human. You're tired. You have 1,000 things going on in December, and you're trying to close out a year while keeping your sanity and your receipts straight. And it's okay.
But also a fantastic opportunity for me.
Of course it is. But today is about shrinking you, not feeding you. Before we end, I want to give you a practical, doable challenge. Something small. Something achievable even if December has already run you over emotionally. I call it the One Account December Reset. Here's how it works. Pick one account. Checking, credit card, savings, whatever you use the most. Second, grab the most recent statement. Print it out if you want. Or don't. I won't be judging. Run the 3-pass method. Sanity check. Make sure the starting balance matches. Big rocks first. Match the large deposit and major withdrawals. Cleanup pass. Fix duplicates, missing entries, and small charges. Stop when you hit truth, not 0. This part is important. 0 is the symptom. Truth is the goal. If you get stuck, write down where. Not paragraphs, just one sentence. I got to hear this is what confused me. If you do that alone, you're already 10 steps ahead of most people.
Slow. Calm. Recon.
See, even the recon monster likes the reset. Let me talk to your heart for a second. I know what December feels like. I know the pressure of year end. I know the guilt people feel when their books aren't perfect. I know how overwhelming it is to open a reconciliation to see a difference of $800 and wonder where in the universe it went. Here's the truth. You're not supposed to know everything. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're allowed to ask for help. Season 2 exists because this stuff is hard. I've spent 30 plus years in it, and guess what? It still gets messy.
Even wizards miscalculate on occasion.
I live for those occasions.
And that's why we're here. To learn. To get clarity. To feel less alone in the mess. So if you're listening today and thinking, I should have figured this out by now. No, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And you're doing better than you think. Here's what I want you to hold on to this month. Your books don't define your worth. Mistakes are information, not condemnation. Reconciliation is repair, not punishment. December is loud, not logical. You haven't failed. You've just reached the part of the process where clarity begins.
And clarity is the foundation of all order.
Well said. If you found this episode helpful, if it made you laugh or made you breathe or made you feel a little less behind in life, Please share it with one business owner who's drowning in December bookkeeping. Not because I need the numbers, but because someone out there is staring at a reconciliation right now whispering, "What about this balance?" And this episode might give them a lifeline. And if you feel like leaving a rating or review, I'd really appreciate it. It helps more people find the show, and it helps me keep doing what I'm doing, which is helping real people survive real QuickBooks issues without losing their minds.
May your feeds sync smoothly, your clients pay promptly, and your books always balance.
I'm Brian. That's the Wizard. Somewhere in their wiring, that's the Tangle. And this has been Season 2, Episode 1 of the QuickBooks Wizard Podcast. Thanks for stepping into the workshop today. Merry Christmas. I'll see you next Thursday.